All right, let's talk about switch assembly for a moment. I've just finished a print and released them all from the bed. And let's talk about the parts for a moment. This is the bottom part with the little tops, and I just noticed that one of them is missing. Not sure what that's all about. See, this is the type of thing I need to figure out in testing. Clearly, these need to be thicker or somehow changed so that there's a better way to attach it. Lots of little tweaks to make. This is your spring. See that? It goes in and out, and because it's PETG, it should retain its springiness over time. This is the center peg, or the center post. And you really want to, if you're going to be using this with LEDs in the future for reference, you definitely want to print this in clear filament. And because it prints on its side, flat like that, the layer lines run up and down, so when you attach your keycap to it, there's no chance that you'll have a delamination problem. Basically, it's very strong in this direction. It should not break off and be stuck inside your keycap, no matter what. You could still break it, but it would require a lot of force. But that's where your keycap goes, and it is pretty small, but that's because it's a small key cap, well, small key switch. And this goes into the spring center here. I should just press fit. See, like that, I pressed it gently, but it's stuck right in there. It does require a bit of force to get it in there. Not enough. Shouldn't be so much that it's like, ow, my finger hurts, but it should be like, if that makes any sense. This is just a cap that goes over the top of the spring here. And this is it looks like a little washer, but what it is it's a spring pretensioner. And the way that works is this goes on top of the spring, and you push the cap down on it, and it should pre-tension this. It does two things. It pre-tensions the spring a little bit. It sticks it out just enough like that. And this applies upward force on the center peg here, which prevents the keycap from wobbling, right, from being wobbled, because it's got that upward force pressing against it. Another thing it does is it gets so when I first start pressing this, it's super duper gentle. It's a little too gentle, in fact. And this spring pretensioner, which is parametric, oh god, I lost it. I'm never going to find it now. Because it's parametric, you can actually control how much pretension gets applied by changing how thick that little pretension ring is. And so you put the pretension ring on the peg, and I'm going to see if I can find it. It rolled off to the side. It didn't hit the floor, thank goodness. Yeah, these are quite small for my sausage fingers. So put this pretension ring on the center peg here, like so. You know, this process seems more complicated than it is. But you see it slid right on there. It doesn't have to be perfect, because when we eventually put a keycap on there, we can press really hard. You can snap everything together strongly. Now we want to put the center peg through it like that, so that it's sitting on top of there. And you notice there's not much room there, but that's because this goes up and down. And most of it actually slides against the stem of the keycap. So we want this cross. Here's the hard part, but it's not that big a deal if you screw it up. You can fix it later. We want this cross to be lined up with the body, the switch body. I don't know if you can see that. But basically, we don't want it to be cattywampus. We want everything to be nice and perpendicular and parallel. And the better job we do that now will save us some trouble later. So I'm not going to bother aligning it for this video because I can't see from this angle. We just sort of shove it in there. There we go. And then the spring pretensioner goes down on top and should snap right in there. I don't think I pushed hard enough in here. I'm going to press it on the desk. I don't want to push too hard on my printer. There we go. I'm sure you heard that snapping sound. So then we put the little cover on here. It snaps in like that. And I've made the tolerances on this quite tight. It should go just below the lip, but that's just this current version. And the reason is it's very thin, and I wanted to make sure that it wouldn't pop out under any circumstances, so I made this lip a little bit higher than the plate. And now you can see what I'm talking about with that pretensioner. It stuck the spring out. And this prevents wobble. So I can push it in, and it might get, if you push it in now without a keycap on it, it could get stuck like it just did a moment ago. And you can see I've got it all cattywampus in there. But that's not a big deal. We can fix that after once the keycap is on there. I could fix it now, but it's kind of, you need some strength. So the way this works is once the keycap's on there, you can actually tighten this spring like that, and it should grab onto itself. It's not going to break or anything. It shouldn't anyway. And you can just rotate it around. And then, this is the easy part. This bottom part just snaps together like so. It's not a very strong snap, but it should be strong enough. Once the wires are in there, they'll hold the, all the force you're going to be putting is on the top here, pressing down. So it doesn't need to be the strongest fastener, because ultimately this is going to be soldered, and that will hold the whole thing down. And it's not like there's going to be much upwards force. And that's how you assemble the switch. Now I'm going to grab a keycap real quick. I bought this little bag of cheap keycaps from Amazon just for this purpose. Put that down there. So it doesn't matter what keycap you would choose, or really the direction yet, because the whole switch is symmetrical. But I'm going to get it on here. See, I put it on. I put the, because that's cattywampus, I'm going to have to twist it a little bit. There we go. So you can see it's not on there quite right, but that's not a big deal. It doesn't matter which direction we turn the spring. Just turn a little bit. There we go, all fixed. And it's actually not all the way in. There we go. And that's how you put the switch together. Piece of cake, right? And eventually these instructions will have how to get, how to set up the wires inside there. And that'll be a separate process. I might put holes in the side of the body. I mean, we'll see. I've got a whole bunch of things to try. There you go. Now the switch is put together. And eventually I'll have clicky and, tactile elements to the switch. This is just linear for now. But adding clicky is easy, because you can always, worst case scenario, just add 2 pieces of plastic that do this, right? But those will break over time. I'm going to try and avoid that. Even though the switch only costs like 3 cents to print, I still don't want to have plastic getting brittle over time and just breaking on you, because that'd be a pain. I guess you can just pull the top off and then put a new clicky thing in there, but at a cost of less than 1/10 of a cent. But I'd rather make something that's a little bit more reliable than that. And for tactile, I've got a whole bunch of things to try. I'll get there. But that's the switch assembly. A whole lot of words for what is ultimately a very simple process.